that what Peter did was not always mentioned. What John did was not always mentioned. What a lot of the great apostles did were not always mentioned. But anywhere the gospel is preached, what this woman, who was unworthy, who had no entitlement mentality, who saw herself as very undeserving of the mercies of God. You know, the people who don't give thanks, there are people who think that everything God did for them, they deserve it. The people who truly do thanksgiving are people who say, I'm not qualified. I'm not deserving of the least of your mercies. If I have health, it's not because I took drugs or I was careful. If I was careful, and you know the other thing that woman was grateful for? She was grateful for her husband. Her brother that was raised from the dead. And you know what the Lord said to me? The Lord said, every time you were sick, I healed you, I raised you from the dead. Are you aware that through 2021, every time you almost had that accident, God raised you from the dead? Are you aware that every single one of us have had the experience of being raised from the dead, except that most of us don't really know that we're raised from the dead? Are you aware that every time you slept like a dead man and woke up the next morning, God actually woke you from the dead? How many of you know that death is so close that every day we rehearse death? How many of you know that? Every day. Listen, when you go to bed and you wake up the next morning, you just went through a rehearsal of death. Trust me, that's the truth. Are you aware that when you as I begin to sweat, and I clean my body, and I see death all over me, it's a rehearsal of death. Are you aware, ladies and gentlemen, that every single time you survive a sickness, you just rehearse death? I will never forget one day I had a procedure in the US. Very interesting procedure. And it's something that they would do in Nigeria without putting me to sleep. But in this case, they said they would put me to sleep. And then the last thing I knew was that they have changed my garment, put on the clinic garment, and then the anesthetic said, turn on your side. First, she asked me, who is coming to carry you? I said, my sister-in-law. And she said to me, have you given the address and telephone number? I said, yes. And she said, turn your back. I turned my back. As she gave me the injection, guys, the next time I opened my eyes, I was lying down in our parlor. I was dressed. I was so humiliated. I said, who put all my clothes on me? Who carried me from that place? Who put me in the car? How did I get from the car to this place? I was asking stupid questions. Everybody was laughing at me. And I just knew I went through a rehearsal of death. Where you have no idea whatsoever.